So to test the system, we went ahead and put it in cool. We'll go ahead and turn the fan into auto. Things that we could check on this, there are usually low battery signs. If they are on a battery thermostat, it's always best practice to replace the batteries or let the homeowner know. I always like to go ahead and pop the thermostat off the wall and give a little inspection to the back here. Make sure there's nothing wrong on the prongs. There's nothing like things built up, any spiders, bugs, all that good stuff. Sometimes if you do have a battery powered thermostat, you'll see like battery corrosion all over the terminals. You could take that off and just get a little brush and wipe it off just fine. We're flushing out the condensate drain here. This is basically all your algae will get built up right in here. We'll take some water, flush it out, pour it right in there. Make sure everything drains good. There we go. Hey, here we go. There's a primary heat exchanger and a secondary heat exchanger. The primary is sometimes a clamshell or a tubular style heat exchanger. The secondary is typically like a radiator style with little fins. And now that little radiator style coil can clog up with debris or dust or hair that the filter doesn't catch. So these little limits are put on the blower motor and the assembly to basically on the downflow system to tell if you're getting proper airflow and that heat is flowing downward and not rising up. So we got the motor separated. We will keep this inside. We'll wipe it down, clean it up. Always set the side that's pointed outward. You set that up and lean it on a wall so that way all the water will run out, and then you put it in the sun to let Mother Nature work for you. So we'll go ahead and put the door back on. We'll fire up the indoor unit, just the blower only, to make sure that we have everything squared away, everything's plugged back in, and we'll take an amp draw on that blower once it gets up to full speed. With a condenser fan motor, we're gonna flip it out of the way so that way we have access to the pan around the condenser, and we can clear any leaves or debris that's in there, so that way we do make sure all the water is draining out properly and not sitting up on the bottom of the compressor and eating away at the mounts and the screws and everything like that, causing problems down the line. This is a dual fuel gas furnace setup. This is on the higher end of the efficiency side as far as how you could pair up and combine systems. The gas furnace is a high efficient 90%er, and then you have a heat pump to pull heat out of the air on days where, you know, it's like 65, 50 degrees. You need a little bit of heat, but not too much. The heat pump is efficient enough to handle that at a very, very cost effective way. When it starts to get below, like in Indiana, below 35, 40 degrees, the heat pump does start to lose its efficiency. So we switch over to a gas furnace to make up for that loss in efficiency. Depending on the area you're in, it could be more efficient to cycle your fuel consumption that way. It's very beneficial to have a dual fuel setup if you do consume propane. It'll take a lot of the load, especially in the Midwest states where it's not super cold, but still it gets cold enough to where you need gas. Even though you remove your disconnect out of your high voltage, you still need to verify that the wires look good on the inside and that you are not gonna, nothing is bypassed. You're not gonna hurt yourself. There we go. Biodegradable. Get out what you can on the inside. You don't have to get everything out by hand, but you can get out what you can by hand. It makes it a lot easier to rush it or push everything back out. So go ahead and start washing this coil. And you don't want it to be a super hard stream of water. You want enough water to be able to push through, but not too much pressure to where it's going to bend the fins over. You go ahead and just start washing around the coil like this, and just back and forth, running down.